Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mila Braika. I'm looking at Ruth 4, verse 5. This is still the dialogue between Boaz and Feloni Almoni, the phony Almoni, or the fellow Almoni. Translators try to be kind to this man somewhat through with the way they describe him, but the name doesn't really sound so great, Hebrew or in English, even if you say it, Feloni Almoni. So this man is an interesting guy. Seems to be one of those people who just sort of looks at things right in front of him and really doesn't think things through. Whereas Boaz is somebody who really thinks things through. And we have an interesting shift in the words here in verse 5 compared to previous descriptions of what was happening with the land. And so it's a little bit, I would say, bait and switch. I had never, in all my studies of Ruth, I hadn't seen this this change out of the root. I knew it was there, but I hadn't really considered the importance of it. So today we're going to look at the importance of really seeing very clearly what's happening with the dynamics of not just the land but also the people. So, and as it turns out, the people are whole lot more important than the land. So let's get on to the study. Follow me with the study of Ruth 4 verse 5. We're using again the ancient codex for this. Verse 4 ends right here, Egala. This is the sort of surprise. Oh no, yes, I will redeem. And you go, wow, this other guy is willing to commit, willing to jump into this situation and say, yeah, count me on. I'm ready. And at that point, I think everybody kind of holds their breath and goes, "Oops, hold on, okay, something's not quite kosher. Let's put it that way, not quite correct." And now Boaz, of course, has to explain what's really happening. Okay, it isn't just a piece of land. Now, the previous word here has been chelakat, chet lamet kof. Okay, kof. And we get to the end of this thing, and all of a sudden, Chet Lamet Kof is not mentioned anymore. It goes down to Nachalato, different word as to what they're actually talking about. So, as I said in the introduction, a little bit of bait and switch. We're first talking about the land, and then we're talking about the real inheritance, what's really behind the holding of that land. So, so he said, "Oh, I'm going to redeem it." And then Siluk Sof Pasuk ends verse 4. We begin verse 5. Boaz now is the man that's speaking. He's affirming some things here. And he goes, Vayomer, and then he said, nice milel accenting, normal for this word. Vayomer Boaz, Beyom. So this is a direct quote now of what Boaz is saying. In the day, kenotcha, silent Shiva here, just closing a syllable. I tend to pronounce them, but it's not necessary here. Kenotcha, and the Rafe, kind of keeps any dogish at bay here. So, kenotcha, and the day that you buy. Okay, now at the start of verse 4, he says you have to buy keneh. Okay, buy it. And the man said, "Yeah, I'm ready to do that." But then Boaz defines it a little bit better. He goes, "Vayomer Boaz beyom kenetcha." Now we're going to have the same verb again further down the way here. And this one does have a kativ kare, so it has a kare on it. And so this yod ending is, they don't like it. So if you continue reading the entire chapter, you'll find this one used again, but here the Masra doesn't like this ending. So we'll get to why that is. So Kanetcha, the day that you buy it, the moment you buy it, Hashadeh, the field, and that is now this one's, as you notice, as patah, so this is a direct object. No, this is a article. So this is an article. Even has a nice dagesh here in the sheen, telling us, affirming the fact this is an article. Hashadeh, yeah, accenting at the end here. Miura, Hashadeh, miyad, the field, So this is the definite field. This is the field that previously or belongs to Elimelech and still as part of the definition of what his family is. So Hashadeh miyad, from the hand. We're going to say hand of the hand because we know it's Naomi. Okay, from the hand of Naomi. Hand is in reference to what she has rights to. Hand often is a sense of power or a sense of authority over. And so from the hand of Naomi, and now here's a surprise, okay? Me'et, and then from Ruth. Okay, now why in the world would Ruth get into the middle of this? She's there, but why can she be included in the legal argument? I mean, she's a foreigner. She's a woman. She doesn't. No, but she can't count here. What's going on? Okay, so Umeet Ruth ha-Moabiyah, in fact, re-emphasizing again, she's a Moabite, and everybody's going to go, wow, who in the world is going to give legal rights to a Moabite? So, and from Ruth ha-Moabiyah, and then here it comes, Eshet ha-Met, okay, wife of, this is a construct form, and we've seen Eshet before, like Eshet Hayil, and Eshet, we've also seen it as Eshet of the her husband. Well, here it's Eshet Hamet, wife of the dead, this dead person. And then I'm going to ask who's this dead person. We'll get into the studies a little bit further, and we'll find out this is Ma'alon. She was married to Ma'alon, and then the fact that she was married to Ma'alon gives her certain rights in what's happening in this what we can call a legal discussion, a matter of who's going to control, who's going to own this land, and who's going to do what. So she apparently has established rights as a widow of this person who has died. Met. Kanita. Now here is a Kativ Kare. Kativ here, little circle here telling us that this writing, this Kativ, has to be looked at. And then this, in a certain sense, points us over to the margin. And we have Kanata. Now, this Yod would normally take a Hirik to pronounce it. But all of a sudden we find a Kametz, and you go, whoa, okay. That's a little bit unusual to end it like that. But this Kametz is then, we have to take all of the vowel pointing we have here, Kanita, and have it under here, okay, Kanita. And so Kanita, and this then pushes this Kanit into the second person, Kanotecha, the day that you buy. And so the you buy, from that you buy, and the Kanat is that you buy, second person ending here of the reading it as the Mashura. And it's interesting in that in this time around, normally a kare is just indicated with a kof, but here the author or the scribe said, "Oh, let's make it a little more clearly." They put it the full reading of the kare then, kof resh yod. Okay, kare. There it is, a kare. Printed text is just going to drop it down to a single kof again, but there it is, just a kare. And what it does, it takes this first person, I would buy, turns into second person, you buy. Okay, now you buying it. The second person here of just the comments ending of this particular, harmonizing it basically with this verb as well. Same verb. This one has it's a construct form there, and this one's just a straight verbal form. Kanata, the hakim, in order to raise up. Kum is to rise up, bring up, establish. Le hakim. Now this one, anytime you have a lam in front of a verb, you're going to make that an infinitive. in order to raise up, okay, to raise up. Shem, Shem is name. Instead of, if you're going to read this just with no vowel pointing whatsoever, you're going to have to decide between Shem and Sham. So the most obvious, of course, the Masoretes tells us with the Semitic. This one's Shem, it's there. That is name, but it's also there. It's place. In other words, you raise up name and place. Okay. In other words, just drop the Semitic for a little bit and think of what this would mean in both of its forms. In other words, name and place. Okay. So, Kaim, Shem, Hamet, of the dead person. So in other words, you are going to raise up, establish anew, to raise up the name Hamet. Same word that we saw in the previous line here. Hamet, the dead person, the dead person. Later on, we're going to continue our studies and find out that this dead person is Ma'alon. So you raise up the name of the deceased one, the dead person, al nachalato. Now, on, this is on top of, al, very well-known preposition, on top of, tied in with makef right here, and then nachalato. This is inheritance, and it's an interesting swap out because we've seen in the previous verse when Boaz first invites the Faloni Almoni to sit down, he says Kane, and the word is Chet Lamed. Okay, not here. Chet Lamed. Okay, Chet Lamed Kof. Okay, Chet Lamed Kof. And all of a sudden, when I was reading it again and preparing this little study, I was reading it through, and I expected to see Chet Lamed Kof, and I goes, whoops, they dropped off the Kof. Where did it go? It dropped, and I realized, oh, something changed out here. This word, very parallel actually to halakot, but different, quite a bit different. In that, if you have the Chet Lamed Kof, it's inheritance, but it's inheritance defined by something that's laid out with a cord. The cord is gone here, and we're back to another interesting root has made its way in here. That's because of the nun. And Noah has gotten in the middle of our discussion here. This is nahalato. This is a nun chet, and this is Noah. Okay. How does Noah get in here? Noah, of course, is a very base root, nun chet, very base root for comfort or things that are in place, care, yeah, but just everything is placed. And we have been using in our book, in our studies of the entire book of Ruth, we've been using this root already, and we're using a very interesting way, manoach, okay? That is position, rest, a good place. And so all of a sudden a good place comes right in the middle of our discussion here. So you got nachalato, okay? That is comfort, inheritance that places you in a good relationship with what's happening. So interesting change out here, going from what would be an entirely materialistic view of what's happening in the story, in other words, the land, to something that is a little bit larger, which means how your life fits in the middle of all of this. The land, the people, the society, the laws, all of the things that are happening all around you. That inheritance here that belonged to the Hamet, that has to be restored. So it isn't just the land, it is the name, it is the reputation, it is the descendants, it is the family, and all of these things come front and center here with this change out of this particular word here. So instead of halakot as Chet Lamed Kof, you have nun Chet Lamed, still a construct form because of the tau here, And then this belongs to Hamet, belongs to Mahlon. We'll find out later his name defined as he is the one that was married to Ruth. So, and this inheritance is something very, very important. I find it very interesting as when we define things. If in our lives we would define things just on the material values of what's happening, or just the land or the property or the money and things like that, we would be operating on Filoni Amoni's level. We just say, okay, I understand this, understand it materially. But we have to understand it in a much better way through the inheritance we have as family, as relationships with people, as the name that we must have. Not just it's a name, the reputation, the good testimony we have. Those things are far, far, far more important than whatever material things would also accompany those things. So, and it's a beautiful way to look at it. Hey, get our focus on what it means to receive an inheritance that covers the name of a person rather than an inheritance that's just based on material values. So, great little switch out from halakat to nahalot. And nahalot is far, far, far more important than a chunk of land. So I hope we can learn from that, and we can live our lives on that basis as well. May God bless and may God strengthen you today. Until the next time.